Hey, welcome back. This is Alex. And in this channel, we document the growth of a $100,000 account I've created for my newborn son. In this weekly portfolio update, we go over all the moves that we've made this week and some moves we might make potentially in the future. If that's what you're into, stick around. All right, so currently the account sits at $114,069.54. And we are nicely up on the week. I think we're up about, 2200 bucks. And you can see below that how we're performing versus the S&P 500. And so this account is a little bit different than a normal account. Most people would do 100% equity portion or 100% equity in the portfolio. But given that the rates were very high, we decided at the onset to include some yield and some fixed income into this account. Even though it's for my son who's just been born, that opportunity doesn't happen that often. So I just thought, might as well just add a little bit of a fixed income exposure because I don't want to keep adding to this account. I just wanted to hit the deposit 100,000 and then have that be it. So having some fixed income to provide some, alternative, deposits to the account is something I like to do. So with that, this account is basically 53% stocks, 5 to 6% options, and about 38 to 36% fixed income. And what I want to do today is I want to go over some of the stocks that I've added to today. I added to one stock this week, which was RXRX. And then I also want to talk to you guys about some opportunities in the fixed income space. Because today we had Jay Powell come out and basically say he's going to start lowering rates, and we had some big moves in some of these fixed income stocks, and bonds and stuff like that. So I'd like to show you guys that. All right. And if you guys are curious about any moves that we're making, and you don't want to wait till the weekly video every Friday, I put a link in the description with a website that I connected this account to that tracks every trade, every stock trade. It doesn't track the options trades, but if you guys are curious about what we're doing on the stock side, go check out that link. So as you can see here, the account has a 4% yield. It was 5%, but we've been adding to some stock and options positions using some of the yielding assets because the market was dipping a little bit. So it's kind of dipped. Our target on this account is to have it at 5% yield for the account. So you can see here some of the stocks and some of the ETFs that are providing that yield for the account. And so this is a heat map of all the positions in the account. Of course, bigger blocks, bigger position size, smaller blocks, smaller position size. And we had a decent week. Especially into the end of the week. Today, with that big move after the Jackson Hole announcement. A lot of the Chinese stuff is starting to finally go. A lot we've been allocated towards like small caps because we've been kind of betting on this rate cut cycle. And we finally got that move today. So we're enthusiastic about that. And also some of the bonds are starting to go up. It's really good that actually today, the long bond that we have a pretty sizable position in, the yield has gone down. So the ETFs are going up right now, even though there's expectations that he's going to cut. So that's good for our portfolio. We're also in a lot of small caps, which are going to benefit from lower yields. So, everything that we've been kind of banking on happened today. But, what I've noticed is anytime you get these kind of really big moves, especially in small caps, the next day is pretty bad. So, we're not holding our breath here. So it could go down, next week, especially given the magnitude of today's move. So with that, let's go check out one of the positions that we entered this week, which is RXRX. All right, so what you can see here is the position that we entered in RXRX. We got long the $5 call in 2027, and then we sold the front month $7 call in September. And because we were kind of banking on, it could continue sideways because of the position of the stock. But we wanted to be long this stock for going into 2027 because we could keep selling these front month calls on the stock because it's a very high implied volatility stock. So first and foremost, like, what is RXRX? I asked ChatGPT to create this little PowerPoint and had Grok do a some analysis on it. And so some of the spelling might be wrong on this PowerPoint, but it's a great way to do quick work. Um, yeah, and put it into a PowerPoint form that looks great. So the little hack for you guys there. So yeah, I mean, RXRX is basically AI and machine learning via recursion OS platform. It just accelerates drug discovery, and so it's got a lot of strategic partnerships. It's got a lot of cash. I think it's got about $580 million of cash for R&D. Market cap's about 2 billion. So it's got plenty of cash, and with interest rates going down, it's going to be easier for them to borrow money. But it doesn't really make a lot of money. It loses money, as you can see here. But what we like is the technicals. So let's go over to the technicals and check out what's going on over there. All right, so I know I've done other videos where I've said, yeah, hey, we entered this stock and blah blah blah. Really kind of short, um, descriptions about why we entered the stock. But now that it's the weekly video, and this is the only stock I really entered in this account, besides buying back some calls that we had sold and stuff like that. This was the main position that we entered this week, so I have a little bit more time to talk about it. But with that, just thought I'd kind of talk to you guys about what exactly is happening here. So I'm going to link a Wyckoff schematic, because that's basically how I invest and how I trade. Is I use Wyckoff analysis, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy stocks when they're in phase C or they're in a spring position. So as you can see from this little schematic, whenever you have a stock that's been going sideways in a range for a long time, you look for it to kind of collapse underneath the range and reclaim that range. And as you can see, RXRX has done that. It's kind of going sideways. It hasn't, really gone up a lot. Typically you'd expect it to V and keep going up. So it does have some hits going there, but I think with interest rates coming down, it's going to allow this stock to go much higher. So let me just show you guys a monthly chart here. Yeah, so if you could see here, this is the monthly. It's kind of hanging out here at the lows with a lot of volume coming in here. So ideally, that's where you want to see a lot of volume. And because the volatility of the stock has kind of collapsed here, okay, into all this volume, it just shows accumulation. So whenever you have a lot of volume and collapsed volatility, that basically just means that there's accumulation going on. And this is a heavily shorted stock as well. So if it has any good news, it should do really well. Now, albeit it is acting a little bit weak today because most of the other small cap stocks that are in my portfolio are up a lot. They're up like 10%. So this thing's not doing as well as those. But yeah, we're just going to continue to monitor it. So let me just show you guys this. All right, so this is my weekly view that I have on a different screen. It shows some fundamentals and the monthly chart, but then it also has the weekly chart. And what I've done with this weekly chart is I've color coded it with my stage analysis. It's different from the cycle analysis I normally show in some videos, but yeah, I like to have these colors on it because it shows what stage the stock is in and what kind of stock it is. Now, as you can see here, this is always like, this stock is almost like a GameStop. It's a heavily shorted name. It's always in stage 4 or 1 or 4A. Basically, it's always red or light red. But with that, I'm expecting that the market's going to kind of go crazy here once they start cutting interest rates. And stocks like these are the ones that are going to perform the best. And so, that's why we're getting into this spring position right here. And as you can see, I have this little indicator right here that shows me the volatility. So this is the volatility of the stock. And as you can see, it's been collapsing as this volume has been coming into the stock. So that's basically the indicators is showing you guys what I've said in the previous videos. But we like it here for those reasons. Okay, so the other opportunities I kind of wanted to show you guys today is the opportunities in fixed income. So there's 3 stocks I want to show you guys in fixed income. Now, what these stocks are is this is NLY, okay? Annaly Capital Management. Okay, this stock basically is a levered mortgage REIT stock, okay? And it has a 14% dividend, okay? And so this stock has been going sideways for the better part of this year, so it's going to produce 14% returns, right? But what I've done is I've gone back in history and seen when the short rates, or when the whole inversion thing, people are talking about the inversion of the 10 and the 2s or whatever. These stocks, these mortgage REIT stocks, whenever mortgages are very high and they start coming back down, they actually go up when the interest rates start to come down. And so that was my bet at the onset of the year, is to get something that yields 14-15%, but that's also starting to go up. So these things are acting really well today after the Jackson Hole announcement. So that's Annaly mortgage REIT stock. Another one is AGNC. This is another mortgage REIT stock. It's got hit when the economy was going to do poorly in April because of tariffs, but it's another stock that yields about 15%, and it's just been going sideways. It has these V corrections. But if this thing can start getting going here, now that the interest rates are coming down and hopefully bond volatility will come down, these stocks will do really well. Another stock is this DX. These guys just released the dividend, so it's actually up 3% today, but they gave that dividend today. It's another stock that has a 16% dividend. Basically goes sideways, produces 16% returns. But we like the base on it, right? It's a similar base to RXRX, similar to a lot of this, DigitalOcean, and same as CFLT. We like to buy these stocks that are in these deep bases, and that could potentially have a spring and a lot of volumes coming in. As you guys can see, it's the same setup all around with all these stocks. So with that, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, we got into RXRX. We're looking at maybe adding to some of these income stocks because the income part of the portfolio is a little bit down. And we like what happened, with Jackson Hole. Hopefully it doesn't crash next week. And with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care. Cheers.